When it comes to attracting quality recruits using your social media account, there's a few best practices that you want to start implementing ASAP. I work with insurance agents every single day, and I see that you guys screw this up all the time when it comes to running your own paid ads, building an actual personal brand or a landing page that can convert real professionals to our agency predictably. And so I'm going to be giving away on this training just some of the basic things that we can just go ahead and jump straight into so you can start implementing them immediately. So number one is that we want to make sure we have some level of personal brand. Okay, when we have a personal brand, some of you might not even know what that is, but that's essentially where you're turning your Instagram, your Facebook, your TikTok account. Those are actually the three best platforms that I find and that I work with to basically build a couple of different things here. When we have a solid personal brand, what it's gonna do is it's gonna build trust with the people that want to join our agency. It's going to build authority, and this is so people look up to you, okay? And as a recruiter, these leads should look up to you. If they're looking down at you, they're not going to join your agency because they don't have enough perceived credibility that you're even somebody that's credible to recruit them and then help them actually make results, okay? So that's one thing as well. Trust and authority. The next thing it's gonna build is likability. Now, anytime somebody buys something, it's because they typically, well, if they're buying from a personal brand, it's because they like that thing, that company, or that product. If you're not a likable person, you're probably not gonna get much recruits. And so your personal brand is supposed to do these three things before that person sees you on the interview. Now, the awesome part about a personal brand is that there's a really big plus. And that plus is that there is a celebrity effect. Now, what do I mean by this? Okay, if recruits are joining your team and they've seen your Instagram prior to actually getting on that one-on-one interview with yourself or somebody on your sales team, that is a massive change of difference in terms of why that person's on that call. Okay, some of you here are just doing LinkedIn and like cold calling and stuff like that. So the leads don't even have the opportunity to see who you are, see what you're about. They don't have the opportunity to see if they even like you as a person yet. And so naturally your close ratio is gonna be a lot worse than another agent that has actually taken the time to build a brand. Now, the other thing when it comes to building a personal brand is you're gonna build what's called brand equity. And brand equity is very simple. After you start posting enough on social media and people become familiarized with your face, your colors, your fonts, your content, you're indoctrinating them of who you are, what you stand for, and why they should choose you out of all the other insurance recruiters that are out in the market. And so brand is the best way to separate yourself from all the other people. One of the biggest questions that I get is, hey Dylan, like how do I, make sure that my social media strategy never gets saturated? Like if I'm posting similar stuff as another agent, like is that gonna hurt me? Is that gonna make people think that I'm just copying somebody's stuff? And the answer is no. The short answer is no, because think about it like this. Nobody has the same fingerprint as you. And that is basically a saying that I now say because it's very true in the terms of like when you're building a brand, nobody can duplicate who you are as a person. And that's exactly what these recruits are buying into before they actually get on your interview. They're buying into you. They're buying into your confidence. They're buying into how you look. They're buying into your conviction. Maybe they're buying into what's around you and the lifestyle that you post, okay? So that's what a personal brand is. Now, if we're talking, Dylan, what are the best platforms that I could be building my personal brand out? There's some main ones. So what are the best platforms to build brand? Okay, number one for sure is going to be Instagram. Okay, Instagram from my experience has the highest quality leads by far. Okay, you're gonna get very high quality people through Instagram. That's what I like about it. Okay, number two is gonna be Facebook. And with Facebook, the only thing is that typically what we notice with recruiting is that the leads are gonna be slightly less quality. And that's just because typically we see an older demographic on Facebook in terms of the age range. Now, if you're targeting corporate professionals, you're targeting, any type of professional demographic over the ages of 30 to 40 years old, if that's what you want in your agency, Facebook is great for that, probably even better than Instagram. The third best is TikTok. However, TikTok is gonna be a little bit different. The only thing about TikTok is there is going to be a younger demographic. And with the younger demographic, you have to appeal more to younger folks, and you have to be a little bit more savvy with how you're posting your content versus on Instagram and Facebook. But in terms of greatest to least, I actually rank these right in front of you. So number one, of the best platform in my personal opinion after testing $2 million on ad spend for recruiting, number one is by far Instagram, number two is Facebook, number three is TikTok, in that order. The cool thing about Instagram and Facebook is that you can actually connect these two, so that always every time you post on your Instagram, whatever you're posting on Instagram will automatically get posted to your Facebook. Okay, so those are gonna be best practices for there. In terms of another common question that I hear all the time is, Dylan, so quick question, Dylan. Do I have to create a new Facebook? Do I have to create a new Instagram account in order to start building a brand? And the answer is no. You don't need to do that. In fact, I'd rather have you take your personal account, even if there's all kinds of crazy stuff on there, like, you back when you were partying in 2016, or maybe you have nothing but financial stuff. You're teaching about the products on there a lot, or maybe it's just overall just looks like a personal account. You want to start with that one. Now, what we really want to do, and what I do with all of my agents before we even get started working with them, is we clean out the closet. We're basically throwing away all the trash on their Instagram account. We're completely revamping it. And the reason why we start on their account with the most followers, which usually more than not is going to be their personal account, is because people need to see followers. Okay, so some things that are going to help you get results faster if you're going to be building out a brand for social media is a couple of different things. Okay, so when it comes to this, we have to have on our Instagram account and social media is what's called perceived authority. Okay, with perceived authority, there's a couple different things you can do. Number one is going to be high quality profile picture. And I should clearly see your face on this, by the way. It cannot be you standing far away or you wearing some unprofessional attire. Like, it needs to look quality. I need to clearly see your face, and it needs to be high quality. Very, very important. Number two is a clear bio that speaks to one niche. Okay, so if you're targeting corporate professionals, if you're targeting healthcare professionals, if you're targeting prior athletes, if you're targeting sales reps, okay, you need to say, hey, my name is, in your bio, you can say something like, I help corporate professionals make $10,000 in 6 months using life insurance sales. It needs to be very clear, direct, and to the point, and speak to one type of a person. The next thing is follower to following ratio. Okay, what the heck is that? That basically means that you have more followers than you are following people. So I should have, as an example, 1,000 followers and I'm following 250 people. Okay, that's extra perceived authority, meaning you don't follow everybody you know. If you have 200 followers and you're following 2,300 people, that just looks really weird, and it looks like you're desperately like trying to get followers by following a bunch of people, and it doesn't look good in terms of your brand. Okay, the next thing, we want to delete photos not relevant to what we are trying to sell. Okay, that one's pretty straightforward. If you have all kinds of crazy stuff on there, like you used to go to parties, or you used to have stuff on there where, maybe it's you and your family, I think that's okay, right? If we leave our photos on there with myself, and like, let's just say you have your family or whatever, like high quality portraits of that, you can leave that on there. Anything that doesn't look professional or that steals from your credibility and authority as a recruiter, you need to remove that, okay? Because you're a business owner and you want to be coming off as extremely professional to your market. Okay, so those are just some of the best practices that you need to be doing with your social media if you really want to be leveraging it to attract recruits. Okay, now when it comes to filming content, okay, this is something that we don't really talk about too much on YouTube, but filming content, I think people really make this way too complex than it needs to be. Okay, with filming content, it's very simple. It needs to be high quality. Okay, I see some of you guys all the time just like really not putting the full effort into filming content in terms of the quality, like your camera is all foggy. Another thing that I notice is that like the audio sucks. Okay, you can literally just use an iPhone. So like what I task my agents to do is literally just use their iPhone. If you have an iPhone 15 and above, you can easily knock that out. You can buy a tripod, you can use the back camera or the front camera to film your content. That's all you need. You don't need to get a fancy camera like the one here in order to really produce results. You just need an iPhone. For my Android users that are watching this, get an iPhone. And no, I'm not here to do the argument with you. Oh no, Android's so much better. I don't care. I've literally put Android ads on Meta, and I've also put iPhone ads on Meta. Guess which ones outperform? iPhone. So I didn't make the decision, the market did. Buy an iPhone, it's way better. Don't use an Android. I will not even take you on as my client if you have an Android. I'm sorry. You need to have an iPhone. I will not accept anybody that has an Android. It's just the way it is. I'm telling you right now. You will not get results. Okay, so it needs to be high quality. Simple. Now, the next thing is the type of attire you should be wearing is business professional or business casual. You don't want anything else besides those two. If you're wearing like gym attire, forget it. Don't even film your ads. You have to be coming off as professional. You have to be coming off that you're well dressed. And now as a sub tier to this, you need to be also well groomed. Okay, well groomed, haircut if you're a man or a woman, like you make sure you look put to part, right? When we look like we're wearing like kind of like lazy attire, like, we're wearing pajamas or we're wearing like something loose and we're just trying to keep it casual, or our hair is crazy or whatever. Like I'm telling you right now, when it comes to recruiting, what I've learned is that you want to have the highest, biggest bang for your buck on these ads. So you want to show up on these ads like your best self, almost like you're going to give a presentation of 5,000 millionaires, right? What would you wear for that, right? Think about that. You want to show up on this content. That's going to be the best attire to wear. The other thing that I find works really, really well is when we have nice backgrounds behind us when we film, okay? And a nice background doesn't mean you have like this crazy view behind you or whatever. I mean, even where I'm at right now, there's a nice plant behind me, for instance, and there's nice, decent, semi-decent lighting, and there's some nice glass windows, and it's kind of bright. There's a nice ambiance in here. This would qualify as a nice background. Other things that would be nice backgrounds is like if you live by the coast like myself, you can go to the beach and film content out there. You can go to a park where there's some greenery. What you don't want is to film on a white wall. That's just not good, right? There's nothing behind you to help sell for yourself. So sometimes in ads, it's not just the person that's doing the selling, it's also what's around them that's doing the selling, okay? And if you guys have seen my ads on the internet, which all of you are watching this should be insurance agents, you've probably seen my ads a few times. Notice how I always have something nice behind me. It just overall brings out better energy on the advertisings, and it probably grabs your attention more because there's vibrant colors all around me. All these things play a major factor when we go to film our branding content or when we go to film advertisings on social media. Now, what type of content should you be posting, okay? Content to post, very simple. One is lifestyle, okay? Lifestyle content. This could be you on vacation. This could be you at an event. This could be you spending time with your family somewhere nice, right? We really want to be selling the lifestyle. You should have a sellable lifestyle as an insurance agent because that's exactly why a lot of you are in the insurance space, because you want a better lifestyle. And that's also why a lot of people just typically join life insurance. So unfortunately for the rest of the video, my iPad stopped screen recording somehow, and you won't be able to see the iPad for the rest of this video. However, I'm still discussing some amazing strategy that you can still tune into and listen to. But yeah, unfortunately the iPad did shut off midway. So you'll just have to hear the overall commentary on this, but hopefully you're able to still retain. Anyways, without further ado, let's continue to the video. The next type of post is storytelling content. All right, now with storytelling content, this is basically content where you're simply making content talking about a little bit about yourself, opening up, right? This tends to make great content for recruiting because this is your opportunity to shine and get people bought into you as a person. If they're bought into you, they will buy into your company a lot easier. If they're bought into you, they will get bought into the opportunity of becoming a life insurance agent much quicker as well, because they're inspired by you. Inspiration is a very powerful emotion. If we can inspire somebody to take an action, they're not coming on as a cold lead. They're coming on saying, wow, like before I got on this call with you, John Doe, I saw your content about you telling me, you know, what got you started in the insurance space and how you used to work a corporate profession, and now you're doing this. You know, it really inspired me to get on this call. And so there's been agents of mine, Divine Reach, that have gotten upwards of over 100 recruits in a month. Now that's a massive number, and that comes with a large amount of overrides and a large amount of responsibility as well. However, it was inspiration that drove those numbers, okay? So when we're able to use that emotion for our agency, you are going to not only separate yourself from other agents, but you're gonna be able to close a lot easier on these calls because there is what? I'm gonna scroll up for you. There is a celebrity effect. People are looking up to you before the interviews. You're no longer just a random stranger that they're getting on a call with. Way different frame for a sales call, okay? Number 3 is gonna be authority style content. Authority style content. Now what is this? This could be any type of content where you're giving advice or coaching. It could be coaching on how to sell. It could be coaching on mindset. It could be coaching on identity, okay? It could be coaching on business in general. Now, the reason why we need authority style content is because you need to position yourself as somebody that is worth following, that actually knows stuff. Nobody is going to get recruited by somebody if you don't know anything as a business coach. That's essentially what you are as a recruiter. You're a business coach. When you recruit somebody and you get them licensed, do you know what your responsibility is then? It's to make them money in sales. That requires somebody to do coaching and one-on-one calls and group coaching and mentorship. And so that requires you to sell yourself as like, hey, this is everything I know. Let me just give away some free information and teach these folks what I know about life insurance and building a business and making money online, because that's essentially what all of you are doing. So these 3 styles of content I noticed work really, really well. Now, what we also want to pair this with is very simple. This is probably the most powerful one, is transparent marketing. You know what's crazy is that if you go, actually do yourself a favor right now. Go on ChatGPT. You can do this exercise as you're watching this video right now. Go on ChatGPT and say, is your company name legit? And then click on enter. So for instance, if you're in World Financial Group, or you're in Global Financial Impact, or you're in Primerica, or you're in Globe Life, or you're in Family First Life, I want you to go on ChatGPT, and I'm just gonna use one of them. Is FFL Family First Life legit? Enter. Is Global Financial Impact legit? Enter. Is World Financial Group legit? Enter. Tell me what it says. Is it saying that your company is a scam? Is it saying that people are saying bad things about it? Is it saying that there's tons of accusations on Reddit? What is it saying? Is it saying good things or is it saying bad things? What does it say? Go ahead and read it to yourself. That's exactly what the internet and the world and the market is thinking about your agency. Isn't that crazy? So what do we do in order to solve the problem by people getting burned left and right by bad recruiters? Well, we gotta be honest and transparent. That's what we gotta do. And the way we do that is we create content that goes over the things that people are afraid of getting burned on. Do you know what the number one thing is of people getting afraid of getting burned on? It's their money. They don't want their money taken. They don't want to spend more than they thought they were going to spend. So we need to create content that goes over money. So how much are the fees for my license? Okay, fees for license. Okay, number two, how much are the leads? Okay, how much is my background check? Okay, background check. Cool. What else? Can we think of anything else? Are there any hidden fees that I should be aware of? Okay. Now, the next thing that we want to make content on for transparency is our offer. Is this a job? Guess what? A lot of people become life insurance agents thinking that it's a job because the recruiter was just trying to hard sell them, and then they get burned. It's not a job. No, this is 1099. We need to make that very clear on our social media, okay? These are just a few examples. Now, essentially what you're doing, because when people go to buy something, just so you all know, and I think that you guys should already know this, people do their research before they buy something that's gonna be transformational at all. If somebody's buying like a $10 candle on Amazon, there's really no need to do research on that. We already know what a candle is. We already know what its purpose serves, and it's $10 stinking. Like, there's no need to do research on that. However, for recruiting, I mean, depending on what your licensing costs, it could be $600, it could be $200, it could be $50 for some of you watching this. Regardless of the nature, is people are still gonna do their research, even though it's a low ticket offer essentially for you guys, because it's transformational, right? They're literally gonna be giving you their time and energy to learn a skill. And so before they give you their time, they wanna know that it's a legit company. And so when you're not giving somebody or your lead an opportunity to do their research on what you're offering prior to that interview, do you know where they go? They're gonna go to Safari, they're gonna go to Reddit, they're gonna go to Google, and they're gonna go look up your company name all over the place, and they're gonna see nothing but bad stuff, and then you're gonna lose a lead, you're gonna get a ghosting call, and it's not gonna work, and you're gonna lose money and time for years and years and years to come, and you're gonna keep wasting your money and time. Yeah. So biggest thing we wanna do is use our Instagram account as that research tool that people can then get information on. So that ways, everything is in the social media for them to go ahead and consume. Now, when it goes to paid ads, okay, when we're doing paid ads, what's really cool is paid ads on Meta and Facebook and TikTok. It allows us to send leads to your DMs, okay? And the DMs, we have a conversation with them, okay? And then when we have a conversation with them, what happens next is we have a booked call. And then from that booked call, the next thing that comes is a new closed recruit. Now, when we're running our paid ads and we're sending leads to the DMs, this is what's really gonna happen. The lead is gonna see your ad, and then once the lead sees your ad, they go to your Instagram and your Facebook, IG, FB, Facebook, and then from there, in between this conversation right here, they're gonna go and they're gonna binge your content, okay? They're gonna do research. They're gonna see if they can trust you, okay? And if there's no content, you're not giving them the opportunity to do research on your Instagram account, and you have literally no profile picture or any content where they can trust you, that is why you're losing leads. they're gonna ghost you. They're not gonna show up to that interview. It's the same thing if you're doing any other type of outreach method. This is why you have no-show rates, very high no-show rates. This is why you have terrible close rates. This is why people quit on you, because it's all about framing. All I'm talking about here, the big key thing I want you to learn is framing. That's what you're doing. You're using Instagram to literally frame what it is you're offering, so that always when they make it to that interview, they're higher quality people that are already educated on what you're offering. They know how much it is. They've seen your face a million times. They look up to you. They're on that call. Now you just need to answer the last minute questions until they become a new closed recruit. And that's all we're doing. There's really nothing complex about this. That is really how we're able to use social media in order to close our recruits consistently. Now, the way that we scale up volume, it's totally dependent on how much money you're willing to spend on your ads. I always recommend that you start with 30 bucks a day. Well, 33 if you want to do, this is going to be $1,000 a month. Okay, depending on how well you can close with this system, I noticed about 15 recruits a month with this much spend. At $50 a day of spend, okay, I believe that's about 1,500. Forgive me for my math if that's incorrect after I filmed this video. I believe that's accurate. That can potentially bring you about, what I've seen with agents is about 20 recruits a month. Okay, and these are quality recruits. Okay, the numbers obviously go up from there. Usually we'll even go up to $100. It doesn't really take much of a budget, by the way, to get recruits. $100 a day is great too. That's usually about $3,000 a month. Okay, and with that amount of spend, I mean, I've seen anywhere from 30 to 50, depending on your close rate. Now, at 30 to 50, you need a team. Okay, you need licensing coordinators. Okay, you need an EA, an executive assistant, or a VA. That's to help you on the back end right there. You also need systems in place. Your business is gonna break in half if you don't have systems for these 30 to 50. Don't just ask for recruits if you don't have systems. You need to have systems in place. And if you don't have systems, believe me, when you start bringing on even 15 recruits a month, your business is gonna grow naturally, because you're gonna notice stuff starts to break as you start to get to that level. So that's it for this video. If you guys want us to help you with this and install our system inside of your agency, all you gotta do is click the link down below. I myself or another individual will get on a call with you to see if you're qualified to work with us, and we're gonna help you scale your agency at 3x the speed. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you subscribe for more content, turn that notification bell on, because I'm posting once to twice a week, and you don't wanna miss those videos. Believe me, it's gonna be a lot of great information that you receive. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.